Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to another World Cup predictions video. It's semi-final time and somehow still able to sit here in this kit with my team still being in the tournament. We'll switch over to the tournament tree in a moment, but do drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any World Cup related videos or FIFA content, of course, as always. Do let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the quarterfinal games and your own predictions for the semi-finals upcoming this week. I'm going to switch to the tournament tree now and we'll assess my performance with regards to my own predictions, and then we'll throw the in real life results into the tournament tree so it'll update, and then we'll have a prediction for the semi-finals. So with regards to my own predictions for the quarterfinals, I actually got not necessarily the scorelines right, but the 4 advancing teams correct. You can see my predictions here. Initially, I thought Uruguay-France was going to be a 1-1 draw and that France would progress on penalties. As we know, France were able to get a 2-0 victory over Uruguay, who were missing Edinson Cavani, and that was more of an impact on the Uruguay side than I thought it was going to be. I genuinely thought that Uruguay would be able to battle a lot harder than they did, and I thought that they'd take France to extra time and then subsequently to penalties. As it happens, they didn't. France progressed. France are playing really well. Belgium somehow have got to try and raise their game against France, but I actually got the Belgium-Brazil result spot on. I said 2-1, and it was 2-1 to the Belgians. Now, I say Belgium have somehow got to raise their game to face the French, but arguably the Belgians have been playing better football. They do look like an extremely capable side. It's a long time coming for this Belgium team. Obviously the squad is stacked full of not just fantastic players, but all Premier League, or majority Premier League stars as well. So we'll be familiar with them if we get to the final and play them. Obviously when we played them in the group, it was 2 rotation sides, so you couldn't really draw any sort of details from that and predict what would happen if the 2 sides were to meet again and both play their strongest 11s. So if we do get to the final and play Belgium, it's going to be difficult to predict, even though we have already played them. But Belgium, I'm pretty sure I said in the prediction video for the quarterfinals that Brazil haven't been playing that well so far in this tournament, and eventually they were going to get found out. And subsequently it did happen. They only scored their 1 goal late on as well, and it was a pretty, I wouldn't say heavily dominated Belgian performance, but they were the better team and deserved to go through. Now, with regards that semi-final, I don't know. I am really struggling to predict this one because France have played really good football at times and have also occasionally looked a little bit shaky at the back. If you concede 3 goals against that poor Argentina side, and you have that sort of performance in you defensively, then can you be 100% confident going into a game against a side like Belgium? I don't think you can. I'm going to go... Oh, this is such a difficult one. I'm going to say 2-2 after regular time. And I'm actually going to say Belgium will win 3-2 in extra time. I don't think it'll go to penalties. This will be 3-2 to Belgium in extra time, and I think Belgium will progress to the final. But it could go either way. Like, it's a World Cup semi-final. Literally anything could happen. It depends who turns up on the day. I think if both sides play to their max potential, Belgium go through. France do have a very strong backline though. I think I prefer France's backline, but I prefer Belgium's attack, minus obviously France having Mbappe. Griezmann has only scored once from open play so far this tournament, and that came with a horrendous mistake from Muslera. Griezmann felt so bad about the mistake that Muslera made that he didn't even celebrate the goal. He put his team and his country into the semi-finals of the World Cup, scoring the 2nd goal in a 2-0 quarter-final win, and didn't celebrate. That says everything about A, the man, and B, how big a mistake it was from Fernando Muslera and how bad everybody felt for him. Wasn't quite the same as Loris Karius in in the Champions League final, was it? There was a different vibe about it, but obviously I think the second mistake from Karius where he parried it was kind of exaggerated because of the first mistake he made. Let's not get into that, shall we? That's just a can of worms I do not want to open. With regards to the other results, I actually saw Croatia winning their tie in 90 minutes. Obviously, it ended up being a 2-2 draw in extra time. It was 1-1 after 90 minutes. Croatia then went 2-1 up in extra time. And Mario Fernandes, the former Brazilian, was said so many times in commentary, obviously played one game for Brazil, but it wasn't a competitive tie. It was a friendly. So that's meaning after getting his citizenship in Russia, he could then play for the Russian national side. Had a decent game at right back, but then skewed his penalty wide of the target, and that subsequently ended up being the penalty miss that led to Croatia winning and going through. I had predicted a Croatia progression. I did see them doing it in normal time, but two back-to-back games in the round of 16 and in the quarterfinals where Croatia have had to play a full 120 minutes and have the mental pressure of penalties. Now, England played Sweden. I said 2-1 England over Sweden. As it happens, Sweden didn't score, but they very well might have if it weren't for three superb saves from Jordan Pickford, who's having a wonderful tournament. There was some early criticism in the group stage when, obviously, who was it? What's his name? Januzaj scored the goal for Belgium against Pickford, and Courtois actually called him out for going with his... called him out for his height, and he got criticised in the press for going with his wrong hand. I'm not a goalkeeping coach. You're a goalkeeper, you go with what you're more comfortable with. He's gone with his lower hand against Colombia and made the most incredible save in the round of 16 to tip it around the post. Yes, they've subsequently scored from the corner, but that's besides the point. England against Sweden, we played that game to perfection. Game plan executed wonderfully. Keep it slow, which initially suited Sweden, but then pick it up. Set pieces working in our favour as well. And the second goal, Jesse, it wasn't even like intended to go directly to Dele Alli. There was just a clump of three players there, but you can see Dele's movement. As soon as he sees Jesse Lingard walking onto the ball, he knows he's going to hit it first time and darts back behind the defenders, breaks the offside, well, it wasn't necessarily an offside trap, but breaks the offside line and then heads home from 3 yards with a simple finish. And we're through to the semi-final of a World Cup for the first time in 28 years. Pinch me. Pinch me, please. I don't know what's going to happen between Croatia and England. I genuinely don't. If Croatia turn up, we'll be in trouble. And they mentioned this in punditry last night, actually. I'm recording this on Sunday. You'll see this on Tuesday, I think. They mentioned this in punditry last night. Croatia played Russia and Denmark in the quarterfinals and round of 16, respectively. And both opponents sat back, defended as 10 men behind the ball, and Croatia couldn't break them down. Now, we won't play like that against them. We'll be more expansive, less defensive, and as a result, players like Modric and Rakitic and Perisic going forward will have more space to work in. And we saw in the group stage, specifically against Argentina, just how Croatia can pick you apart when given that space. So it's going to be a real test of us defensively, but we have been good defensively this tournament. We battled very hard against Colombia. We played very well against Sweden. Yes, it was our only clean sheet, but we haven't conceded more than one goal in a game yet. And we have been playing very well defensively. Questions of whether Tunisia should have had their penalty in the first place, so perhaps we arguably could have had a second clean sheet there. Disappointed with the defending for Panama's goal in the group stage. Obviously, the Belgium game, is just non-applicable, really, because it wasn't a first-team side. But I have to back my boys, obviously. I can't go into a World Cup semi-final and be like, yeah, Croatia are going to beat England. Croatia could beat England. I will say that. I'm going to say 2-1 England, and that it's going to be... I'm going to say 2-1 England, and then it's going to be a Belgium-England final. So that's the way I see things panning out. Belgium-England final. This rephrase. This is the way I would like things to pan out. With England still being involved, it's very, very hard for me to be objective. Because obviously I want England to progress, and I can't be objective and say, I think Croatia will win. Because I want England to win. I want a Belgium-England final. And the other game I can be objective about, and I do see Belgium winning. And I want England to make the final. So it's going to be England-Belgium. And then a third place playoff between France and Croatia. But what will actually happen remains to be seen. What do you guys think is going to happen? Is it coming home? Will it still have a chance of coming home after Wednesday evening's game? I've not experienced this before. I was 2 when we got to the semis in Italia 1990. I was 8 when we reached the semi-finals of Euro 96. I do remember that tournament. And I do remember the heartache, even as an 8-year-old, of getting knocked out on penalties against Germany in the semi-finals. And of course, who missed the penalty that sent the Germans through? A certain Gareth Southgate. So, is it the ultimate redemption story for him to manage England at a World Cup, not just the Euros? Hopefully he'll still be in charge for Euro 2020. He's been great as manager. Is it redemption time for Gareth Southgate to take England all the way to the final of the World Cup and maybe bring it home for the first time since 1966? 28 years since we were in a semi-final. 52 years since we were in a final and, of course, won it. Whatever happens, it's going to be emotional, I know that much. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I don't know how I'm going to react. I don't even know how I'm going to handle just watching it, let alone reacting to whatever happens. There's always a big thing in football. What's more important to an individual? Club or country? And there's always a huge battle. For me, it's always been country and always will be country. If England win the World Cup, I could die happy. It is if there was like top of my bucket list for my entire life, England win a World Cup. That's the most important thing that could ever happen to me in my lifetime, is that my country win the World Cup. Genuinely. So I don't know how to feel because I've never been here before. Or not. I don't remember being here before. So I'm lost for words and lost for emotions. It's a mixture of excitement. It's a mixture of nauseating nerves. And just not having any idea what to expect. What will be will be. What hopefully will be is England in the final on July the 15th. But time will tell. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. It's coming home.